Guys, we are back and we're currently already in the draft. It actually progressed already. There was a notification problem with heroes, so we didn't see that immediately. Abathur banned again. Just to sum that up, we have the standard bans for both of the teams again, so nothing out of the ordinary happened here. The first thing we can really tell that something changed is the Sylvanas pick on the side of SK, taking that from Game3. Vala and Hammer starting things off, and it's actually with the Tazza and the Malfurion, a bit more of a passive position that we're seeing for SK, but they try and pick heroes away from Game3 here with a pick on the Malfurion and Sylvanas. And for Game3, it's more likely to see a Rhaegar last if SK allows it, whereas the Polish team went for Illidan and Stitches here. So once again, running one of those Stitches comps.
Yeah, but they seem to be really a fan of their Stitches comps, but currently they don't have any lockdown for once the Stitches does hook in. There's the potential. Like, there's one person currently who has the potential to lock someone down, and that's Valor with the Rain of Vengeance. Otherwise, they're going to have to they're going to have to rely on the Earthbind totem and just rely on slows with mines and totems. SK, going for the double support, going to be picking up Brightwing.
Triple support even if you count Tacita here.
True.
So that is... I personally have the problem that I always undervalue a double heal in a lot of situations, but right now I'm really starting to think they need to play in Arthur's again, because that damage has to come from somewhere. And it is Sky Temple, so I feel that SK Gaming is going to play Arthur's. If they don't play a tank that really can also do some work, I feel they are going to have a very, very tough time taking anybody down.
Yeah, they need a tank who can deal some damage. So like you said, Arthur's would be great. Maybe Diablo, but it would be a kind of lightning breath thing, so they don't have too much lockdown.
Well, they have the roots, but Arthur's it is.
So it is a lot more sense.
Yeah, Arthur's makes sense for them here. They've played that against Fnatic and won the game. Game3 is most likely going to aim for Rhaegar. Well, actually, like, what else are they going to pick here? Lily is not going to happen, so it is going to be the Rhaegar pick, and there we got that. So Rhaegar comes into play. We're having Illidan, Rhaegar with Stitches, Sergeant Hammer, and Vala. And yeah, an interesting composition here, especially for SK Gaming. Once again, one of those Arthur's comps that they've been using in the past. So
yeah,
it's the last chance.
Yeah, this is their last chance. Well, this is one of their last chances because they need to. It is last chance all the way from here.
True.
So they need to win 3 in a row. This is the exact position they were in against Fnatic before they started coming back and won the series.
No.
So was it not? Was it
1-1, 2-1?
Oh, it was. It was that way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like they switched the entire time there.
Yes. Went all the way to the wall, but SK need to win this and then 2 more matches after this in order to have a chance of going to the finals. Otherwise, right now, Game3 need to win 1 map to go on to play Team Liquid.
And we have as the last 2 maps, if we need them, Dragonshire and Cursed Hollow. So very standard maps that come into play next. This one is going to be Sky Temple, as you probably already saw in the draft. So once that the teams are ready, we can go straight for that and see. But yeah.
Yep, I've let them know that we are ready, so we can get it underway. Second, they've all hit the go. We have 9 out of 10 players who have readied up. 10 out of 10. Countdown has begun. And we are getting into game number 3 of the lower bracket final here at the PGL Champions of the Storm at DreamHack Bucharest.
Now, with the Sky Temple game and interesting composition again for Team SK Gaming with an Arthur's, a Sylvanas, and a triple support behind that.
Yeah, very similar to the comp they ran last time on Sky Temple.
Yeah, that Sylvanas pick, I mean, I like her. I really love playing her.
Yes.
But I still think... I'm wondering how the comp would do with the Vala instead. Right now, though, we have that Sylvanas pick. We have Shihu at the left side of the map on Stitches. Yuba on Illidan. Leo from Korea is playing Rhaegar. We have Nika playing Vala and 80 already on Sergeant Hammer as the Polish team has a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series against their opponents. Starting to the right side, it is Bakery on Malfurion, Snitch on Sylvanas, Zarmany on Tacita, Rave on Brightwing, and Araragi on Arthas.
Bakery once again rolling in with the second support here in this composition. Very versatile. Both him and Snitch have been known to play both melee assassins, ranged assassins, and Bakery. Couple supports now and again. SK a very versatile team in that way. Yeah,
I like, by the way, the composition or the build at least that we are seeing for Vala here. Normally, I'm really a huge fan from at least getting composite arrows and also going for the Frost Titan on 13. It's just like the build that is extremely safe. It does enough damage. It packs a lot of utility on Vala. But we're having here a right-click build, and I like that a lot because if you're going up against a double, triple support, like double healer and another support behind that, area damage is not what you need. It's not going to work. You need to burst a target down, and you just basically need to put so much DPS on that hero that the opponent cannot heal that, and that the cooldowns won't be ready again. And for that, right-click damage is just the thing.
There's also the point that they are going to be up against an Arthas, who is going to be the front line of SK. So it's almost definite that Nika is going to be taking Giant Killer, because that's the only way they're going to kill him. And if you're taking Giant Killer, you are going to need a bit of extra oomph to take down an Arthas with 2 supports.
Definitely true. Leo from Korea at the top lane together with ADRD is starting to do the damage against the walls. There's a double lane for them. And currently they're actually doing pretty decent at the bot lane with Shiku and Nika trying to just like slam and multi-shot away every single wave. So against the tri-lane that we're seeing on the side of SK, they are doing fairly well. To the top lane, we have one of the towers already on half health, and ADRD still doing his thing here. Leo helping him with the heals and starting to move towards the first temple now.
Yep, Leo going to be holding that for a bit. Zarmany thinking about making his way out. There's a bit of engagement there. Valor already going down. Rocky dropped low, but he's going back in onto Yawa. Does he have his Howling Blast to lock him down? No, he doesn't. And we do see the Shadow Dagger hit Yawa, but he's able to get out.
Yeah, you were very low. I was actually surprised that he jumped in again. That was quite something. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
That was... He was low, and then he jumped back in against an Arthas, who has the option to slow him and re-engage. So a bit risky by Yawa, but not able to get away with it.
Yeah, to the top lane, we have the temple now being still controlled by Leo from Korea. The experience for both the teams is nearly the same. Mid-temple under the control of SK Gaming. And with the level 4 talents, we're seeing them with a double protective shield, which is now, of course, directly counteracting the build that we're seeing on Valor.
Very much so. Any extra protection, especially on this particular comp they are running, is going to be so difficult for Gamers2 to deal with. But Gamers2 building very heavy on the damage, and if there's any way you break through tankiness, it's via extra damage. And Sergeant Hammer, especially, is also very auto-attack based, so we'll be going for Giant Killer too. So the double Giant Killers could make a bit of a difference here. There's even the option to take it on Illidan instead of Sixth Sense.
Would make... I would actually like that. They need something here, and Illidan should be able to get away. There's not
a huge amount of burst ability damage, so Sixth Sense, like, it's Sylvanas and kind of Tassadar, but Tassadar, when he hits Archon, is mostly about his auto attack. So not a too bad idea to take the Giant Killer over the Sixth Sense.
There could definitely be a lot of single target damage on there, and that's true. So Shihu down at the bot lane against Ray, but he needs to be careful. Araki Howling Blast hits him. He's too isolated. No way for him to get out there. He goes down. So 2 kills already for SK. Very well done by them. We have Juve and IDRD going to the top lane now. Again, pushing back Zarmany, and there is that hard camp that is pushing together with them, so they're trying to take at least Tassadar out.
Yeah, he uses Dimensional Shift to try and escape. Tries to retreat through his bruisers, Brightwing TPs, and Tassadar's able to escape, and that's kind of what happened to Fnatic, only in this case, no one actually died. Nika gets envenomed and rooted, and down he goes.
Very well done by SK. Those rotations are pure gold. Moving in, saving the target first of all with the Brightwing TP and a phase shift, and using also the shield, and at the same time Arthas is already preparing to interrupt or intercept Vala in this case. They work extremely well for them, and they're going once more for the unstable poison trade on Snitch, using that with Sylvanas here. We're having also Rune Tap, of course. It's a very, very interesting place that we're seeing for SK in this game, and so far it's been working really well.
Jara going on to Bakery here, now diving onto Rave, as Rave was a bit lower. Hook does hit Rave, he's still trying to flee out, and he's actually just going to TP point blank onto Zarmany there.
The problem is still the lack of lockdown on the side of G2. That is definitely something that you can see here. Shihu with a very, very good hook, and then all of a sudden there was just now a fall-off. There was nothing that they could do to lock the target down, get a bit more damage in, take Rave out. So in this case, they just had to let him go. We're having now that Siege Giant can attack him and was just taken out by SK. But still a slight lead in experience. That temple to the bot lane, of course, if they can hold on to that, it will do a lot of damage to the buildings.
Yeah, but it's already taken down both the towers in this bottom lane, and it's going to take down the fountain before SK even get anywhere near contesting this. They're finally going to start making their way in before it does too much damage to their fort. Storm does land, gives them some pretty good vision. And they're beginning to roll their way in. Ragi just leading the charge here and taking so much control. Rave gets engaged upon by Illidan.
Yeah, Rave moving back at the same time. Shihu is on the temple, trying to contest that. Needs to be careful with all the damage and lockdown. And once again, Stitches is dead, gets taken out. The full control on the temple now. to SK. At the top, we're having them push in with one of their hard camps. The Bruiser camp taking down Taunas, and SK is looking as good as they did not do yet in this series. They are as close as you can get to get a major lead here with a level 10 versus 9.
Yeah, doing pretty well here. Trying to take down this tower without getting invaded Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer almost the perfect position, but now he is rooted and going to be backing out.
We have, of course, searing attacks on Vala. That helps with the right-click damage, but you still need Stitches to be at that front line. And we've been talking about that Stitches pick yesterday when they picked him on a different map without any real combo potential here. This is a very similar map, and you have to ask, would it have been better to go instead for ETC, for example, who has the global presence, who can jump around the map. Stitches with the hooks, not really adding too much yet. They just lacked the option to lock a target down, and that also happened, of course, because Malfurion was taken away from them.
Yeah, and that is good picking by SK in order to force them into that situation. Now we're just seeing SK roaming around the map as a little group. Brightwing, a little off on her own sometimes, but she's been doing a good job of surviving so far. Not a big deal.
Bottom lane, 5-man roam now for the Polish team. They're going for the fort, and the same is happening in the mid lane with Brightwing still going for the extra experience, but Gamers2 again closing that gap, so doing well. They have, of course, already taken down 2 of the forts. That's one of the things to remember here, since SK, if they take down the same structures, will have a very good position here. Walking past the boss, trying to lock down a target. Vala moving in from the left side. Oh, and Twilight Dream is being used. The silence over the Tranquility heal talent.
I quite like that, since they're already running 2 healers as is. Looks like they're trying to make their way possibly for a life steal build. Zichu, does get pulled in, and Bakery, taking a lot of damage, does drop his silence, and it's very nice. You are on his way out. Nika gets to about half health and also able to vault away.
The entire Gamers2 team has to move away here. AD already the only one in full health, and with a healing totem taking place, Leo can heal himself up. That silence that's double silence that they're currently running.
Double AoE silence as well.
Yes.
It's so huge. And let's have a quick look. The Twilight Dream lasts for 3 seconds. Only it has to be cast from melee, whereas the Wailing Arrow is 2.5 seconds. So that is 5.5 seconds worth of no abilities if they can time it right on Gamers2, and that is great for SK, and they're not missing out on too much healing. Brightwing's running the Blink heal for extra heals. She, of course, has her Gust of Healing, and like I said earlier, looks like Malfurion's building into a Life Seed build.
Gamers2 definitely feeling the pressure at this point. The hook attempt again, but without the level 16 talent for Fishing Hook, the range just is not big enough on that hook yet to make sure that he gets that talent, or that hero. We're having also, again, AD already in position. They're starting to move back. Shihu is actually being attacked here. Needs to be careful. Drops once again the Vile Gas here. And, yeah, the hook's just not long enough. With the Putric Bile, he was able to save himself in the last fight, but the level 13 talent will now be available to SK, and that means that Gamers2 has to move away. They're trying to, but Araragi locks down Shihu, and there comes the healing. Nika with a strafe tries to go straight in, but they just cannot do enough damage. Already everybody back to full health.
Yep, Zarmany backing away here from Yua. Yua now in full retreat, pulls the Metamorphosis, gets free, and is able to back out. Took a silence and took a silence to the face, and is now being forced to retreat. Down goes Stitches, and SK once again. This comp works really well for them.
Yeah, it definitely does. This is a very, very good composition for them. It worked well against Fnatic, even though I feel like against Fnatic was even closer, because one of the fights that they were able to win was quite different there. Yeah. But at this point now, I mean, just looking at this, it just feels like there's never anything that Gamers2 can really do to take down a target. They're struggling with the damage against them, and everything that they do is getting out-healed immediately. And Stitches just doesn't seem to fit as well into this combo against this team as he did in the game that they played back then on Garden of Terror.
He makes a lot of sense, and I think once we see the Fishing Hook coming out, it will be a bit more interesting due to the fact that they can't beat this team of SK in a straight-up fight, which is what their team is based for, really, but they're not going to be able to do it. So Stitches is the only way they're really going to get away with this is if Stitches can pick people, because that's the best way they're going to survive. SK just needs to not let that happen. They're doing a great job currently with Brightwing, but the only one Stitches tries to hook, and she always Blink heals out.
If we have a long game between the two of them, they can get level 20 with a double Nexus Frenzy. They will be in an amazing position to drop targets. Big question is, of course, will they be able to get onto a level 20 with nearly even footing? Because so far, SK has been quite dominant. Nearly a 2-level lead for them, but at least the 13 talent is now ready for Gamers 2.
Yeah, but SK have also just been chilling at this top temple, not even taking it, just hanging around that area.
Wow, we have Frost Shot. Frost Shot taken on level 13 for Vala. Totally did not see that coming. I really thought we would see another Giant Killer here. That Frost Shot alone without the range,
Yeah,
they must be really afraid of Arthas.
That's weird. Frost Shot on a auto attack build without Giant Killer against a situation where you can't get in to do the damage as is. The Frost Shot makes sense, like you said, against Arthas, where he's going to be chasing you down. It allows you to kite better.
Well, I guess what the thought process behind it is, from the only thing that I can really come up with to explain this is, first of all, they're trying to get a better hold on what Arthas is doing. And with Sachema picking Executioner on 13 or 16, I guess Frost Shot is going to help you to lock down a target and does then overall more damage than if you would go for an additional Giant Killer on level 13.
Yeah, nice teleport by Rave there. You were diving into that bush to try and take him down, but he was already gone. And SK just taking the mercenaries on the map for the moment.
Yeah, so Feral Lunge. We should see the Executioner talent, Sergeant Hammer, and I suppose this is going to add the damage that they are really missing out on level 13 because of that missed Giant Killer talent. And with Frost Shot, they have added control. But it's 5 kills against 0, 16 versus 14, Hardened, Focus, Blood for Blood, Second Strike, Critterize, let me double check that, Sticky Powder instead of Critterize is being used here. And we're having a double Frostmourne, the next one. Frostmourne feeds, let's hope that Arthas doesn't. Because so far they're doing really well with this, and yeah, not a single kill for Gamers 2.
Yep, and yeah, like I said, not a single kill on Gamers 2, so Arthas doing the exact opposite of feeding for the moment. Takes a Hungering Arrow to the face. I'm just going to be moving into this Bruiser camp with the rest of SK. There is vision on this, or there will be quite soon.
Nearly 50,000 heal on the side of SK. Gamers 2 has 24,000.
I'm not sure what Arthas' escape route here is. It looks like it's just going to be the old-fashioned escape plan of, I'm just going to walk out.
Well, he does it very well. It makes it look good. So we have, once again, next camp taken here. This time we have Shihu defending, locked down with a Howling Blast, gets pushed away, and they disengage just barely in time. The silence was already there with Wailing Arrow. That was a close encounter. Shihu could have gone down here.
Yeah, he was engaged upon, and that Wailing Arrow did land, but he was just in time, already had activated his Putrid Bile, and was able to use that to escape. Gives him that extra movement speed bonus. And now, because he got quite a bit of healing there, he's getting ready to move back in. Yeah,
as long as they have Brightwing at the top lane, he can do some damage down here, and they can start and deny a few of the shots at least, but it's of course a tricky situation for them to be in. 16, 17 versus 15. They are waiting for that additional talent. Howling Blast and missed by Aragi. That was an important one to dodge.
Yep, if anyone gets caught by these Howling Blasts, it is pretty much over for Gamers 2. Stitch is getting a very nice heal there 16. With his Devour. 16 has been hit. Zaiju does get locked down, but he's able to back out of it. Nika also taking a lot of damage. Araragi just healing himself with his heroic here. And SK now giving chase.
Yeah, Zarmany is already there with his Archon. Drops out of the Archon form, though. A lot of the Auric abilities are down. And here comes once again Gamers 2 trying to kill him with Nika. Has to vault away and therefore outside of range. We're having double Blood for Blood. No third Blood for Blood taken on Rhaegar, but instead the Urska's Totem. Here comes a hook and a blink heal to safety.
Yeah, but that... Okay, well, now he needs to... he needs his team, or he's going to die. Nope, able to blink heal out to a team member. Just got there in time.
Yeah, and Yoba, Leo, they're still there. Stitches is not, though. He's jumping in. Wow. What is Yoba doing?
Yeah, Polymorph instantly came down once he metamorphosized. He got destroyed. Now ADRD also was dropped very low. Araragi just chasing them down by himself. Snitch finally catching up with him.
He didn't have to go in like this.
He didn't at all. His team wasn't there either.
First of all, like the initial attack was already weird going that steep, and then if you use a Metamorphosis, I totally expected him to just Metamorphosis away over the edge to safety, and he Metamorphosed into the team with Stitch just being back at home healing himself up. That was a very suicidal move by Illidan.
Yeah, that was a well-timed hook by Stitches, but just nothing came of it there. Hooking exactly as his keep went down so that Arthas would not get caught on the keep as he went past.
That's really unfortunate for them now that they lost Illidan here, because therefore they lost the keep. They lost both temples. They cannot fight until they have him back. He's now finally there. You were definitely with a misplay. That made the situation they were in even worse, and they are already not in a good spot. 19 versus 16. The talents, or the levels now. And next temple wave is going to spawn, I think, one temple if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, Arthur's gaining vision of Leo and Zaitu there. They also attack start with that Oracle so they can see exactly what's going on. Both trying to move around a bit sporadically so that there's not too much chance of them getting hit by a random hook.
40,000 damage on the side of Sergeant Hammer, 22,000 for Vala. A lot of damage on both of them, especially, of course, Hammer. This is going to increase with the 16 talent that they just picked up. Keep in mind that they're also behind in stats, so that has definitely influence on the amount of damage that you will dish out over time, since the stat advantage that we're seeing for SK is quite significant. Again, the hook attempt, only getting the creep, lunging in with that.
You were mentioning the damage earlier. We actually do have both Snitch on the Sylvanas and Sergeant Hammer on 93,000 siege damage, which is a lot of siege damage. Snitch, that unstable poison, really working for him when it comes to pushing the waves. Sergeant Hammer, in fact, just getting 100,000.
Yeah, and they are starting to take down that keep. This time we're having SK very careful. Apparently they're trying to wait out level 20. We have Rave at the top lane trying to supply that 20, and they seem to be willing to sacrifice 4 for that. Wow! Against 4 heroes, they are losing Leo. What?
Oh no, we're going to see the strafe come in. Down goes Yua. We're seeing Ziku and Nika trying to re-engage. Nika tries to re-engage on Rave, but he gets taken out, gets rooted. And SK going to continue giving chase here. 3 for 0. They're going to try and catch up to ADRD. There's the bolt from Bakery. I'm not sure what his plan was after that, because his root takes a second to land. So they're giving chase. Can the Howling Blast land? Is so low.
Yeah,
teleport? No,
wow.
didn't teleport.
Wow.
ADRD able to get out, but now Zihu is trying to go back in, and ADRD sieges up and instantly gets stormed and dies.
There is also a rewind on Arthas. Rewind taken on Arthas for level 20, but those last 2 fights from Gamers 2, definitely nothing to write home about. That was weird. Yeah. Losing a hero or having to use the Ancestral Healing and losing somebody even before Brightwing has an impact on the fight, that is odd, to say the least. SK Gaming with the first map won, so they are starting to come back into this. They need to win 2 more, though. But their composition with Arthas really working well for them.
Yeah, they get to lose with it. It's super effective in terms of stuff. Like, they seem to be really good with both that comp and the summons comp we saw yesterday. That was very cool as well. And the next map is in fact going to be Dragonshire, and that is one of the maps they did run the summon comp on. So there's a possible chance we may see that coming in the draft up next.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Gamers 2 saw those drafts, so they should know what's coming when they, or at least what could be coming here. So I'm really curious for the next draft. That should be happening really fast. At least the last time the teams ran from one draft right into the next one. If they don't really need a break at this point, then we're probably going to be back in like a minute. If not, could be back in about 5. So guys,
Gamers 2 is saying they're ready, but SK we are yet to hear from.
SK, we need to hear from them. We're going to jump into a short break, and then we're going to be back with game number 4 here at the PGL Champions of the Storm between Gamers 2 and SK Gaming.